it's some dope records on there. You know what I mean? And you know, I kind of look at it like, you know, one, I just might not be on the radar.
In current times, there seems to be someone else that's kind of impeding or running with the love, you know, campaign.
Okay.
Which is Sean, P. Diddy Combs.
Yeah.
And Puff is interesting because I just called him 3 names just now.
Yeah.
Love, P. Diddy, Puff. You know, your reaction to when you first started seeing him roll out, I think he changed his name to Love.
Yeah.
Is what he's also said. So just, did you feel like a little bit like, and he just dropped an album called The Love Album.
Yeah, I mean, I just tweaked mine. You know what I mean? In the last, since like 2020, it's like the Love King of Soul and R&B. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I feel like I do both, and I do both very well. You know, and I feel like my music has been a fusion of of both. So I've always straddled the line of both. You know, and I'm a fan of both genres. You know, soul music or neo soul, whatever you want to call it. You know, for me, I call it New Era Soul. You know, I represent the New Era Soul movement.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And as well as R&B. But yeah, I mean, I can't say whether or not, you know, there's a direct connection, you know? I do, you know, I applaud it though. You know, I feel like love is the highest frequency we can operate on,
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
but I have to keep it honest, to see him drop an album called The Love Album and not have the Love King on there, just even as a fan, it's like, so I would imagine as you know,
I've since the album been out, I've gotten a few calls and texts, and you know what I mean, and that you know.
I think it would have been a nice taste. Have you guys ever worked together before?
No, we've never worked together. We worked together now. You know, RIP to my OG Chucky Thompson. You know, who was the original hitman for Puff and one of the main producers, and was like the sound of Bad Boy. You know, the early sound. And kind of set the bar for all the producers that came through the door after Chucky, you know, being OG Hitman, you know what I mean? At that time in the 90s. Being a protege and sleeping on Chucky's couch and whatever, it's like, you know, it's kind of like I've been able to get all the tools that I know, all the inner workings of, you know, the curations of how things were created. Like, cause me and Chucky had them talks and those conversations. Like he left those scrolls behind for me. You know what I mean? So, you know, and I hear those, and I definitely hear his influence, his sound, that signature sound of the '90s. You know, in the new Puff project, which is a dope project.
I was ever going to ask you, did you have a record on there that, you know, you would have been like, you know what, I would have got real right on this one?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. But I'm gonna hold that. Like, I'm back to Jack and Beats again. So when I get back to DC, take that.
Now,
but on a serious note, it's some dope records on there. You know what I mean? And you know, I kind of look at it like, you know, one, I just might not be on the radar. Maybe I'm not on the radar.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
He's got to know Raheem DeVaughn.
I mean, I'm not saying that he don't, but you know, you gotta keep your ear to the street. I don't know what the vision is. You know, sometimes you can be in a bubble. You know what I mean? I know as an artist, I can be in a bubble. You know what I mean? But I might have somebody who strategically in my camp.
What are you doing as an artist with your time? Like that creates the bubble.
The bubble is necessary sometimes, right? But what I'm saying is that I may have somebody on my team know where their job is to keep me in the loop of like what's going on in the street and what's up, who's always cutting through, what name is always in the conversation, who's killing the shows, you know, and then who are the newer artists, you know, that are doing their thing, and then also like what are my peers on, because it's a competitive business, but also music changes sonically every 3 to 5 years, and now it changes even quicker. You know what I mean? You know how many submissions like Apple Music, Spotify get daily for music? You know, major recording artists and indie artists. So to be able to cut through that pile, you know, sonically, you know, or to be able to know that you have like this core following, this cult following is out there, just like tapping in to what you're doing. And then the fact that we live in a microwave era where, you know.
So
all the things.
A couple things. One is the fact that you've been building this brand for for such a long time, and you know, people still might not, you know, have caught wind of it. So that's been like a great journey. What's making sure that you like continue to move forward? Why do you keep going in terms of where you at today?
Well, that's the law of success in the art for what we do. The two rules is that you keep going and you never stop.